Hi everyone, it's Manny Manarath, founder of Illicit Health and author of Uncover Your Beliefs, Uncover Your True Health. I just want to give you a quick rundown of the empowered eating concept. Now, I've called it the empowered eating concept. Reason being is because when you practice this way of eating, you'll find that you will feel very powerful because you have choice, you have freedom, and you'll start to see a difference in your body, your weight, and your energy, and also your mind and the way you feel about yourself. Now, this is something that breaks all the rules when it comes to dieting. This is not a diet, but it is a practice that you can use every moment of the day to choose whether you want to eat or whether you don't want to. What's amazing about this way of practicing eating is that you always have the choice. No one tells you how to eat or when to eat or even what to eat. It is all about you and what you want and listening to your body. Now, I just want to give you a quick rundown so that I can share with you some interesting things that have come up for me and what it actually means for me and how the relationship it has with the empowered eating cycle, and then also the lessons that I'm taking away from it, and maybe it's something that can be true for you too. So let's begin by just going through what are the key stages for the empowered eating cycle. Now, I call this the hunger cycle, and this is something that you will face every single day, every meal, every moment in time. And it's something that I just want to raise your awareness to, so that as you see it prop up for you, you can make a conscious decision of what you really want to do. Now, like I said, unlike dieting, you're not going to be told what to eat, you're not going to be told how to eat, and you're not going to be told when to eat. So the idea of, well, maybe you shouldn't eat this because it's got too much carbs, or maybe you shouldn't eat this because it's after 7 p.m. All of those rules are out the door. They don't matter, okay? In this, the choice is all up to you. But there are a few key things that you need to consider in order to help you make an informed, powerful choice. The first one is you have to ask yourself, before you're prepared to eat something, is, are you hungry? Okay. The whole point of eating is to listen to your body, and when your body sends signals to say that it's ready for more fuel, that's when you should be eating. Not when you're feeling, let's say, bored, let's say unloved, not when you're feeling anxious or stressed. Those things, when your body is telling you those things, that's usually an indication of other things that are happening. In this space, we don't eat for those reasons. We eat because our body is telling us that we're ready for more fuel, or that we feel that we have a particular taste for something. But that's about it. So you've got to ask yourself, are you hungry? Because if you are hungry, that's when you are ready to move to the next step. But if you're not hungry, well then maybe you should be looking at what is making you feel like you want to eat and explore that further. In my Empowered Eating program, I share with you a tool called the Hunger Scale. And the Hunger Scale is based on a scale of 1 to 10, where you actually rate your hunger. So you listen to your body's cues and you identify, well, where on the scale is my body telling me how hungry I am? And you would be surprised at how simple but yet effective it is. Because if you've had a history where you've been using food to deal with your emotions, to cope with life's stresses, or to use just to even, for entertainment or to deal with boredom, well then there's a good chance that you've forgotten what hunger actually feels like and what it really means. And that's why it's a great way to use the hunger scale to help you tap back into what your body's really telling you. So, but that will help you at this stage to identify whether you're hungry or not. So let's say, for instance, you've made the decision that you are hungry. You're well aware of it, your body's telling you, and you're happy with that. Well, the next step would be to identify, what are you hungry for? Now, the reason why you need to ask yourself these questions, because again, if you've had a history of yo-yo dieting and you've been on many programs which are telling you what to eat and how to eat, there's a good chance that you have created, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, a forbidden list. And this list is a list of foods which you've identified as being bad for you, you shouldn't eat, so therefore it is on the forbidden list. But what you find is, when you tell yourself that you shouldn't be eating something, well, the mind starts to tell you that it wants it even more. Come on, it happens with all of us, whether it's chocolate, whether it's chips, even simple things like, lollies. As soon as I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to cut out sugar, I really want to reduce my dependency on it because I found that I was eating a fair bit of it. That moment when I said to myself, I'm going to quit sugar, was the moment I craved it even more. And for about 2 weeks, I could not stop eating anything that had sugar in it. I was eating, and I thought to myself, what's going on? Why am I doing the exact opposite of what I said that I wouldn't do? And it was because the feeling of deprivation and control kicked in. As soon as I felt something external telling me I should not eat something, was the moment my body and my mind wanted it even more. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you really want to eat? Because if you have a taste for something in particular, or your body is sending signals saying, look, it needs more nutrients, it wants hydration, even if it wants fruit, go for it. Don't worry about it. But the difference is knowing when to stop. Other people, they eat, and they're not listening to their body. So their body says, look, I've already had enough. But they're moving so fast, they don't even give your body time to tell you that it's had enough. And next thing you know, they end up in a situation where they've overeaten. I'm saying, be conscious of it, raise your awareness, identify what you truly have a taste for, and give yourself 100% permission to eat it. Now, once you've identified what you want to eat, you need to ask yourself why you want to eat it, just to make sure. This is to ensure that you're not doing it because you are bored. You're not doing it because you're trying to cope with some bad news. You're not doing it just because you walked past, something that and the aroma of it made you think of it, so all of a sudden you feel like it. You need to make sure that the reason why you're really eating it is because you are hungry and you do feel like having the taste of it. Those are the two key reasons. Anything else is just an opportunity to identify what's really going on with you and an opportunity to take a lesson from it. But if you've established you're hungry, you've identified what you want to eat, and you know that you're eating because it's for fuel, for nutrition, and because you feel like the taste of it, then we move on to the next step. Ask yourself how you're going to eat. Now, bit of an odd one, but let me explain. When I say how you're going to eat, I want you to think about what is your intention. Meaning, have you set aside time to sit down, to just focus on the food and enjoy the food? Or are you trying to fit it in while you're doing work at your desk, or while you're trying to read a book, or while you're trying to watch your favorite movie? If those other things are coming into play, I want you to stop and say no. How I'm going to eat is to sit down, give myself a good 15 minutes at least to enjoy every moment, every bite. Because The idea is for you to be fully present as you're enjoying the food. A lot of people fall into the trap of doing other things, being distracted, and not paying attention to what they eat. And as a result, the whole meal will disappear and they still feel like eating. And they go, well, hang on a sec, I'm still hungry. Well, no, in actual fact, you're not still hungry. It's just because you ate so fast, you didn't enjoy every bite. So you're feeling as though you still haven't achieved a satisfying meal. And that's why I want you to just ask that question, well, how do you plan to eat? Have you set aside a place at the table? Have you prepared your meal? Have you said to yourself, turn off all of the gadgets, close the book, not be at your desk, sit down and give yourself at least 15 minutes to enjoy the meal? That's the question. So now that you've established how you plan to eat, ask yourself, whom are you eating for? Now this, again, it's just so important. It's imperative. Do not underestimate just this one question. I want you to ask whom you are eating for, because if you are not eating for yourself, then you are not eating for the right reasons. If you are eating because your mum told you to, because she's prepared this awesome meal, you would disappoint her if you didn't eat it, well then that's not a good enough reason. You're not listening to your body. Another reason, if you're doing it because you're trying to fit in with everybody else and enjoy a social environment, well that's not a good enough reason to eat either, because you'll find you're not going to pay attention and enjoy the food. You're caught up with what's going around in the environment. The only reason you really should be eating is because it's for yourself. It's for you. Because you're hungry and you feel like the taste of it and you're ready to eat. Not because of the time of the day, not because somebody's prepared some meals for you, not because it's dinner time out with your friends. Eat because you want to. And what you'll find every time you ask these questions over and over again, they will become a habit. At the very beginning, it is a bit of work, especially if you're not used to it. And a lot of the times, it's not going to come up with answers you really want to hear. So ask yourself these 5 questions in preparation to decide if you're going to eat or not. And if you are completely satisfied with your answers, then give yourself full permission to enjoy whatever it is you want. And at the beginning, it may be chocolate, it may be high-fat foods, it may be high-sugary foods. But if you're trying to correct some poor ways of eating before and trying to correct some bad habits and some old ways of thinking, well then these things that have been sitting on your forbidden list are going to come up. But you just need to honor your hunger and your taste buds. And what you'll find over time is when your body can see that it can trust you and your mind to do the right thing for it, it will start to crave for healthy foods. Believe me, I've seen it time and time again. So this is the hunger cycle, and this is what I want you to start practicing. And as you go along, please use the diary, write your notes, write your thoughts as you're going through this experience, because you'll find over time things will start to change and this will become a new habit, and it will, like it's called, make you feel empowered again. Regain that control. Don't let food control you. You take charge and you show food that you actually know what is good for you. This is Manny Manorak, signing off.